Rufus.
Hi.
Recently I read an interview where the reporter called you kind of a Peter Pan.
Yes.
But as I listened to your new record, I thought your songs were the most mature one you wrote. What do you think?
I think when people refer to me as Peter Pan, I think they're mostly talking about the way I look, only because I'm 36, and I'm not saying I'm very handsome, but I think I've done pretty well. I have more of the boyish 36 than, let's say, whatever, Cary Grant 36, which looks more like 56. And I tend to have a little bit of a kind of childish manner when I do interviews or when I'm on stage. I move around a lot. But yes, musically, when it gets down to that subject, I'm pretty serious and pretty developed.
You always write personal songs.
Yes.
But these new songs are very sad, personal, and very emotional. So
yes.
How does it feel to sing these songs every night on stage?
Well, we'll see. I haven't started the tour yet, so I hope I get through it. I've found, my mother passed away a couple of months ago, and I'm still, dealing a lot with that, as is my sister Martha. And, I've done a few shows since then, here and there, some little appearances, and it's quite hard, but it's also somewhat, I wouldn't say thrilling, but it's very exciting in a weird way, because you have this intense sadness and tragedy, but you have this music that goes with it, and then you have the piano, and there is a force there. There's something you have that's like a wave that you have to follow. You're not looking around going, oh, I wonder, if I'll feel anything, or I wonder, what time dinner is, it's like, okay, this is a real experience. So artistically, it's definitely something's happening.
Do you find pop culture nowadays interesting anymore?
Do I find it interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, oh no, it's not that interesting, really.
No.
I want to say it is, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Of course, I talk about her like everybody else does, is Lady Gaga, who really does represent, the full effect of pop culture now, which is, sort of philosophically challenging ideas with not really interesting music. So it's sort of, it's really about surface right now, and there's something fascinating about it, and you do want to watch it, and you do kind of it's good to dance to, but I don't know how much it's really changing lives necessarily, or inspiring young people to become individuals. It's sort of, I don't know, I whatever, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just old-fashioned too. I mean,
but
I am 36.
I read you want to make another pop record.
I'd like to make a pop record. Yeah.
So how would you describe pop for yourself? So how will a Rufus Wainwright pop album?
Well, I'd like to do a pop music record that is just where some of the subject matter that you're talking about and some of the situations that you're singing about are more subtle and more kind of multi-layered. I mean, it's not like I want to cut your throat, or why don't you love me. It's more just some other relationships in humanity.
I'd like to talk to you about your work you did with Douglas Gordon.
Yes.
How did you came across him, and why did you decide to work with him?
Well, I've worked with him. Oh, I've never worked with him before. This is the first time we've worked together. But I've known him for many years. Well, not many years, maybe about 5 years, and we've hung out. But somehow, whenever you meet Douglas, and presumably you get along, I don't know what it's like for his enemies, but for those who he's friends with, the minute you meet him, it's like you've known him forever. He has this real jovial and open and loving, you know, manner that you kind of fall right into. So I felt like I've known him for a long time, even though it's only been 5 years. Anyway, so I and you know, and then I discovered his work when I met him, and was instantly, you know, blown away by it, and always wanted to work with him, and now I have the chance. So I'm very excited.
So he made a movie about your eye.
Yes.
And what does it represent for you?
Well, it's kind of my close-up. Ready for my close-up. So many things, you know, whether it's sadness, whether it's the soul, whether it's Lulu, you know, my this persona that's existed for many years, you know, since Wedekind wrote the play, and you know, because there's makeup on the eye, so it's definitely a kind of feminine force. I think there's also a kind of strange animalistic quality to it. You know, you're so close that you don't, you know, you're not looking at the human aspect as much. You're looking at the more of the animal aspect, and then. But I think, and also, of course, there's my mother, you know, who passed away a couple of months ago, and who, you know, Douglas knew a little bit as well, and there's a kind of, you know, see all the life that she saw, all the life that I saw, you know, all the things that we see. What life is, you know, comes in through the eye. So it can mean so many things. And then there's also Shakespeare. You know, Shakespeare's always talking about the eye and about vision and about sight, and so it's pretty wide.
Now, you recently said that you could imagine doing a kind of a movie musical in the future.
Yes, I'd love to do that.
In the style of MGM
yes.
movies. What movies come first to your mind when you think of MGM?
Well, I mean, I would think of, MGM specifically, of course, they're all the big Judy Garland movies. You know, whether it's The Wizard of Oz or, you know, An American in Paris or that kind of thing. Yeah, I would say The Wizard of Oz is the big one.
You said that Berlin is one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
It is.
What's so special about the city?
Well, when I first moved to Berlin, I don't live here now, but I did live here at one point when I made Release the Stars. And when I moved here, I was originally kind of coming to discover this, you know, dark, brooding, depressing, you know, destroyed atmosphere, which I think does exist here. I saw that once too when I was here in March. But when I came in the summer, I was kind of looking for that, and I was oddly shocked by how beautiful and bright and kind of happy and flowery, like, you know, just things like Sans Souci and, you know, Unter der Linden and the Tiergarten and, you know, going to you know, all these kinds of places, and it was just it was really the reverse of what I expected it to be. You know, it was more of a kind of Rococo kind of Friedrich the Great kind of city. So I was shocked by that, how paisible it is.
And now that you speak a little German.
Oh God, no! The only thing I know how to say is Eichhorn. Eichhorn.
Okay.
You know what that is?
Squirrel.
How you know it? Oh, did you know that joke?
I knew it. Yeah.
Oh, you did know it. Okay, well that was my first word. Was Eichhorn. Eichhorn. Eichhorn.
So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You know all my jokes. Okay.
I'm sorry.